YouTube. I am bored out of my mind, but I had to share this with y'all. So I get runs to go everywhere. I am all over this country just all the time. And I won't say that I get more live loads, unloads than I do dropping hooks. I mean, it's pretty much even in that department. I maybe a little bit more on the drop and hook, but for the most part, every other load is one or the other. So, after the first couple of runs, especially because I trained on reefer, so coming to dry van was a little interesting. The paperwork is different, but for the most part, after the first, run, you get the hang of it, you go do what you got to do and all that stuff. So I thought that I had seen everything as far as live loads and unloads go until today. So normally, for those of you who don't drive and have no idea what the alley docks look like, you see them on the highway all the time. You pass an industrial park and you see like tons of trailers backed into these little garage door looking things. That is an alley dock, and that is where we do our deliveries for the most part, unless we're dropping and picking up something else. So you back into these things 100 times a week. It's super easy. Again, backing is not hard. If you're coming out here, I get asked so many questions about backing. People that are on the fence about doing trucking because they don't want to back. Like they're terrified of it. Terrified. Y'all, I'll talk about it a little bit in this video. Just a little. Driving the truck is the least hard thing that you do in this job. Driving the truck is the easiest part of the job. That's telling the truth. And backing, it's not hard. I promise you, it's not hard. But going back to the docks. So I had so my load this morning, I picked it up around 5 this morning at the Big Lots Distribution Center. Where am I? Here in Indiana. And actually, I was in Ohio. That's where I started. Now I'm in Indiana. So I picked up in Ohio. I had 2 stops. And so this particular load had 3 different stops. So I've been stopping at different Big Lots throughout the day, and now I'm at the final destination. I go around the back of the shopping center. So if you're not familiar with Big Lots, it's a store that's usually in a shopping center. You very seldom see a Big Lots standalone. Like, it's just not that kind of store. It's usually in a shopping center with a bunch of other stores. So I pull in, get to the back. There's a bunch of stores in the shopping center. Most of them have their names on the back of the door, so you know where to park. It was in the same shopping center as a major grocery store. It was in the shopping center with Kroger's. So Kroger's was the only place that I saw that had docks. So I was like, where the fuck am I supposed to put this trailer? So I'm driving around. So I go ask the guy at Kroger's. I said, hey, um, first time I've ever been here. I said, do you know where the door is for Big Lots? And he was just laughing. He said, you are not the first person and you won't be the last to ask this question. He said, they don't have their doors marked. He said, and they don't have a dock. He said, let's walk around here. And he pointed. Now, there was a Big Lots trailer, and I had seen the trailer. You can't miss it. But it was just randomly parked. It looked like they used it for storage or whatever. It wasn't in a normal place. It just looked like somebody just needed the damn thing to get out of the way. So they just kind of parked it somewhere. Well, that man pointed to that trailer and he said, you might have to move that. He said, because I believe that's where you're going to go right there. And I'm like, where? Like, there was some concrete steps and a trailer. I was like really confused. Felt like I was being punked. And he was like laughing his ass off. He said, I know. He said, odd lots, they're odd. And I just started laughing. I was like, okay, well, thank you for your help. So I walked around the entire shopping center. I get to the glass window doors, and the damn store doesn't open until 9. My appointment is for 8. I'm there. It's like 7:30. There's one lady I see walking around, and I can clearly see she has earphones in. So I'm always wearing gray. I need to change it up because when I started this video and I was looking, I said, damn, I'm always wearing this shirt. So I promise I won't do another video with this shirt on, at least for a while. I'll change shirts, even if it's just for the video. I'm sick of looking at this gray shirt, but I have like 4 of them. So I'm wearing gray. You're not really going to see me stand out in the window, especially if you're listening to music, stalking, you're not paying attention. So I just start banging on the fucking window. Just bang on the window. Every time it looks like she might catch a glimpse of me, I bang on the window. She finally looked at me. It took about 10 minutes. She finally saw me. Immediately, I put the paper up and the seal thing so she knows that I'm not just some customer trying to get into fucking Big Lots. She comes and I said, I've been out there for a little while. I said, where exactly am I supposed to put the trailer? And she starts laughing. And she says, oh, well, we have a trailer back there. I said, yeah, I saw that. She said, well, you need to move that one. And you're going to put your trailer right where that one is. And I'm like, you want me to move the trailer, which is not uncommon. My first mentor, good Lord, he had to move some trailers on our first load. Like, so moving one to put one in there is not the first time I've seen it, and I'm sure it won't be the last. So if you're new coming to Swift, y'all hear us talk about this great stuff about Swift. If you get to a stop and they tell you you got to move their shit to put yours in there, and then after you're done, you got to go move it back, it's just part of the job. Okay? It happens. So I wasn't giving her a funny face because she wanted me to move their trailer to put mine in there. I was making a funny face because I still wasn't understanding where the fuck she wanted me to put the trailer. So, physically speaking, I knew where she wanted me to put the trailer. I got that part. What I didn't understand is how the fuck were they going to get their shit off of the trailer? I'm going to show you. Now, my window might be a little dirty. Hopefully y'all can see that. There we go. They put the conveyor belt. You see how I'm backed up in a concrete dirty hole against concrete? There's no bumpers back there. So you just kind of hit the trailer very softly until it makes a bump, and then you stop. But they roll the conveyor belt thingy out there, and they are manually unloading this trailer. Now, that's what I call a live unload. And when I say today is a day where I didn't do much driving. Hold on. Let me turn her down before she starts talking. I did most of the driving yesterday. See, today is only 226 miles. And after this, I'm done. Because I have to go on a 34 reset. I didn't have many hours to play with, so they gave me this load. Now, I do get a nice fee for every stop. And then, of course, I get the detention pay for sitting here. But, so it kind of works out. It's fine. I've got plenty of miles for the week. But I have never seen anything like this. And I was just like, So I did what she told me to do. This isn't, obviously, not the first stop that I went to. This is the last one. But all the Big Lots I went to today had the same willy-nilly bullshit I've never seen before. So by the time I got here, I was an expert. But I backed in, and this one's a little bit more set up. This one, you could tell this is where I was going to park. The one at the store that I'm talking about, it didn't have all of this. It was literally some concrete steps and a door. That was it. I actually had to park on the side of the concrete steps. I wish I would have thought about doing the video back then. Because it was interesting. I had to line the trailer up with the beginning, so the steps went up, and then there was like a concrete square. So I had to put the back end of the trailer flushed with the beginning of that concrete step. And then they had the rolly thing, and then they had this other thing that connected inside of it. Was, hey, I know Big Lots is not Walmart or anything, but come on. They got to step it up a little. This at least has a, they've done it a little better here. It's still not very good on the trailer because there's no bumpers back there. I mean, you have the little bumper on the trailer itself, but these trailers get used so much, half the trailers don't even got that shit on there. But you just kind of got to ease it back there. But I have never, never seen anything like this. And as you can tell, they don't have forklifts. They don't have anything helping them. So they're not removing the pallets. They're literally going inside of the trailer and just taking all of the boxes off of the pallets, rolling them into their stores, and then I have to wait for it. They sort them and all kinds of shit. So this takes a very long time. So the contracts with Swift, from what I can tell and what my driver leader has told me, when you get to these live loads and unloads, there's a 2-hour window. They have 2 hours to get you in and out. That's yet to happen. After the 2 hours, you get a message that says, hey, 2-hour window has expired. Please send us a message letting us know what the deal is. And 10 times out of 10, I always have to put still loading or still unloading. They told me right off the bat coming into this load that the 2-hour thing was definitely going to expire. It takes them a lot longer to do it this way. The first drop, they actually told me to go off, not on duty, but off duty. I don't know how that works. As far as I knew, once my 14-hour clock started, it started. But I don't know. They told me to go off duty. But as I sit here right now, I'm technically off duty. And that is not an everyday thing. It is only for, I'm sure it's probably for everybody who does Big Lots, because I've been to 4 of them today and they all had this get up. They take 3 and 4 hours to unload the trailer. So, I mean, as far as I knew, as long as that clock was running, it was running. So I don't know. I guess I'll see at the end of the day if going off duty really made a difference. But yeah, I had to share that. I am still learning. I'm going to be learning for the next 80 years. You learn something every day. You should try to learn something every day, because if you don't, then what is you doing with life? I'm somebody who likes to learn. So I will consider myself a rookie until the day I die, because I mean, once you become an expert, I mean, it's just kind of boring after that. So I like any chance that I get to learn. Today has definitely been a learning experience. See different ways that people do things. I don't have to do my job any different. I just have to, backing is backing. So, you know, I had to make the trailer flush with a concrete post. It's not that my job was it didn't make the backing any harder or easier. It's just backing. So going into that, things that, people are really terrified of coming out here. People are terrified of this Qualcomm with the macros, and people are terrified of backing. It's not that serious. It's just not. It is not. Now, when I was in school at the academy in Corsicana, there were some students who couldn't move this truck in a straight line if their fucking life depended on it. And that's fine. Not everybody. Trucking is not for everybody. I grew up around trucks. I grew up riding in trucks. And did that mean that I knew how to do something more or less than someone else? Nope. I came in here not knowing a damn thing, because when you're a passenger and you're a child riding with your family, you're not paying attention to what they're doing. You don't care. You're just having fun. You're in a big vehicle that has a bed in it. That shit is cool when you are 5 years old. It is the best time you could have in a vehicle when you're 5. Like, it's cool. So when I came out here, even though I grew up in trucks, I didn't know anything. I knew that I like to drive big things, and this was the only thing that I wasn't licensed in to drive. And like I said, if you've watched my earlier videos, I have a 5-year plan. I'm not going to retire from trucking. This is a means to the beginning of something that I have going on in the next 5 years. So, kind of carrying on something that, my dad had started years ago. And backing, it terrified me. I'm never so terrified of something that I'm not willing to try. There's not anything in the world that I'm just deathly scared of. But I love a challenge, and the backing, the challenges that I did have, they were challenges that I was creating for myself. I was in my head way too much and just really oversteering. Oversteering is the number one problem I've seen with everybody that has problems backing, including myself. Oversteering. So if you know that going into it, and you listen to myself or any of the other, whether they work for Swift or not, just any of the other trucking channels, everybody's going to tell you, oh, backing is not hard. It's not. But when we were in that position, we probably felt that, some days were harder than others when it came to the backing. And you're not going to get it right every single day. There's some days where, my schedule flip-flops from one shift to the next and my body just can't keep up because I'm not sleeping and all whatever else is going on. And sometimes you just do stupid shit. Like the other day I was cranking and I had slept maybe 4 hours in 48 hours and I was tired. I had ran my clock out completely, and this trailer, I mean, the landing gear just wasn't moving. I was turning the wrong way. I was just turning the wrong way. And I was steadily cranking that bitch too. It didn't stop. I was like, at some point, why didn't it just fucking stop on me? I would have thought maybe turn it the other way, but it just kept turning. I'm pouring buckets of sweat, just really having all my heart put out there to crank down that landing gear, or crank it up, actually, is what I was trying to do. The trailer was too high for my fifth wheel to connect to the kingpin, so I needed to lower the trailer. And boy, I was trying so hard, turning it in the wrong direction. So there's going to be days where the shipper or the receiver is just taking too long, and then you got traffic, you got mountains, you got weather, you have four-wheel drivers that just don't know what the fuck they're doing, you have semi drivers that don't know what the fuck they're doing. Some days you're not on point, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, the driving aspect of this job is the least thing you have to be worried about. The trucks drive themselves. All we do is steer them. That's the God's honest truth. These trucks are so fucking smart. They do everything themselves. All you really do is steer the damn thing in a straight line or a curve, however the road goes. Keep it in your lane and keep it rolling. I mean, that's all you do. My legs are usually crisscrossed applesauce underneath the seat or stretched out in front of me. I do leg exercises. My feet are almost never on the pedals because the truck is in cruise control 90% of the time. So when you're coming out here or going to the academy to learn how to do this, don't have it in your mind that backing is hard. The macros, if I had a 2-year-old, the 2-year-old could figure out the macros in just a couple of hours. They go in order of how you're going to use them, and they literally say what they mean. I mean, what they are. So let me go to the damn screen. Number 1 on the macros, you arrived at the shipper. So you got where you were going. If you arrive at the shipper, you're usually empty or you're picking up an empty or whatever. And anyways, the shipper, meaning that's the stuff that you're going to ship to somewhere else. So when you leave, you're going to be loaded. So number 2 is your loaded call. If you have multiple stops like I did today, number 3, you arrived at stop. All you do is put what number stop today. I'm at final destination, so that's number 5. Arrived at final destination. 3 and 4 go together. You arrived at your stop, you put the number 1, whatever. Depart from your stop. What stop? Same number as the number 3. If you arrived at stop 1, you're going to depart from stop 1. If you don't understand that, trucking may not be for you. A lot of things may not be for you. Um, but no, you arrived at one stop. You can't leave from stop 2 if you arrived at stop 1. Like, it is so easy, y'all. This stuff is not fucking hard. It's just not. The damn shit is there. And if you don't know which one to send, they made one for you too. It's called Macro Zero. And you can just type in there what the hell you want to say. And somebody out there in Never Never Land is going to send you a message back. So even if you don't care to learn them or you just have a hard time reading, I'm not going to say memorizing because you don't have to memorize them. They're right there. The only other problem you could have is if you can't read very good, then you just type whatever it is you want to say and send it, and somebody will answer you. Macros are not hard, and driving is not hard. What is hard is dealing with the stuff that you cannot control. The clock is going to tick. That clock is going to tick faster than you could even imagine. That clock is going to tick away, and before you know it, 14 hours is gone, and you're sitting there like, what the hell happened? Weather, construction, wrecks with fatalities. That I've seen quite a few. 2 of them I've been pretty fucking close to. Happened right in front of me. And bad business. Well, here's the guy. So I'm going to let y'all go. And I'll catch y'all next time.